Hi everyone, welcome to the True North VBS volunteer training. It's going to be kind of crazy. It's going to be a little sporadic. I'm doing this and this is my second take and I'm just like, no, we've got to get this done. So what you're going to learn is you're going to learn the theme, you're going to learn the Bible buddies, you're going to learn tips and tricks to having an awesome week, tips and tricks so that your kiddos can have an awesome week, and just the layout of what we do every day. We are in the sanctuary right now, which is where we're going to do our sing and play. It's where we're going to do our compass closing. It's also going to be where we do our sticky scriptures in the middle of the day. If none of that really makes sense to you, that's okay. It will here in a minute. But let's start off with our theme and our Bible buddies. Our theme is trusting Jesus in a wild world. I don't know about you, but that's a theme that resonates with me. This world is wild, and trusting Jesus is what just gives us the hope and the joy to go and get out of bed every day. So it's a theme that's great for kids, but also for us volunteers as well, because we can absolutely relate. Now the Bible buddies are super cute and super fun, and everyone kind of has their favorite. Mine's day 5. But let me introduce those to you, because that's really what's going to help incorporate everything that we do in all of the stations of VBS. Day 1, we have this cute Ponder the Otter. Now, Ponder the Otter teaches us that when we wonder, we can trust Jesus. Now, that trust Jesus is a tagline that we use all week long. Whenever we give the Bible point, at the end of it, so for example, when we wonder, we can, and everyone's going to shout, trust Jesus. If you've got kiddos that have hearing sensitivity and don't like loud sounds, just know, hey, it's okay to cover your ears. So that's day 1. Day 2, we have Claudia, the king crab. And of course, her name is spelled Clawdia, because that's important. We got to have those VBS puns in there somewhere. But anyways, Claudia teaches us that when we feel lonely, we can trust Jesus. Day 2. Day 3, we have Cody the bear. Now this one's a little ironic, and I love it. So Cody the bear teaches us that when we feel powerless, we can trust Jesus. Day 4. Day 4, we have Ernest, and Ernest is an eagle. And Ernest teaches us that when we need hope, we can trust Jesus. Day 5, my favorite, we have Bruce the Moose. And Bruce the Moose teaches us that when we need help, we can trust Jesus. Now the preschoolers have another buddy of their own. However, this year, because of the number of kids we have, and it's so exciting, we're up to 245 kids. Don't be scared, that's amazing. We're so excited. They have their own buddy, but we have crews, and all of the crews mirror the Bible buddies. So we have the yellow bear, we have the yellow eagle, we have the yellow otter, we have the yellow moose, we have the yellow king crab, but we also have the yellow huskies. We have greens of all of those animals, we have oranges of all of those animals, and we have pinks of all of those animals. And then the preschool has their own color, and they are blue. But this is Juno, the husky, and he's super cute. Now, so those are the Bible buddies for the week. That's the theme for the week. But how does the week actually work? All right, if you have signed up to volunteer, you will have gotten an email, or will get an email. I'll attach it to this one that has the link for this video. You're going to get a map. And this map is going to show you, and it's going to be opposite for you, I'm sorry, how you're going to travel around to the different stations. Fear not, we'll also have guides along the way, whether in posters or tape on the floor. You're not going to get lost. And then you also have your Hundedundus schedule, okay? And so, for example, if you are on the yellow crew, the yellow crew has you being in here at the very beginning of the day, sitting down for our sing and play peak, which is our opening. It's where we sing music. It's where we meet our Bible buddies every day. It's where we meet Scout Rivers. And It's where we just rally before the day starts. Kids come into Sing and Play Peak at 8:45, between 8:45 and 9. So they can be dropped off as early as 8:45 and as late as 9, and hopefully not too much later because we have so much to do on a day of VBS. The volunteers, however, need to be sitting in these pews at 08:30, 08:15 on Monday. I know it's early, but I give you 15 minutes extra sleep the rest of the week. So 08:15 on that first Monday, because there's just a lot of last minute things that need to be gone over. Maybe questions, maybe people have been out of town and they haven't been able to come in and get their t-shirts, whatever it is, like if you're here early, we can really just equip you to start off the day really well. We'll have our devotional that time. We'll have our last minute questions that we can answer. We'll have any announcements that need to be made, and just getting settled in, especially that first day. Now the rest of the week, 08:30 in the pews. We'll do our devotions, any real quick last minute announcements. You can get your crew bags and everything situated the way you want, and then we start. Now when I say a VBS morning goes fast, you blink and it's 12 o'clock and parents are picking up and you're like, what just happened? It goes fast. It goes fast. And it's super fun, super upbeat the whole time. And if you're not having fun for whatever reason, we've got a break room and we've got substitutes. And if you're just having a day and you need a moment, tag one of us, tag myself or Steve Paquette or one of the gals up front, and they can tag us. And we've got a volunteer break room that you can go. You can get a coffee, hot chocolate, a snack. We are here to support you because we want not just the kids to have a good week, but we want you to have a good week too. So in following the schedule, everyone starts off in here, and then we break up into our stations. Now, all of the yellow animals are going to be traveling together. All of the orange animals will travel together, and so on and so forth. So if we're following the yellow animals, they go to games first. So they're going to exit out the side and go outside for games. Each of the stations is about 20 minutes. It goes super fast. So one of the ways that you can really help as crew leaders is to keep your kiddos quiet. Once you go into a station, immediately get huddled up and get quiet, because that's going to allow you to focus them on the station leader and go, hey, we need to listen really quick so that we can get to the fun part, okay? Especially at games. You're outside, and of course, as soon as you empty or exit a building and you're out in the open, kids just want to burst with the noise. And that's fine until you're out there, and then you huddle up and you get quiet so you can listen to the station leader, explain directions for the game, and then you can hoop and holler and cheer and encourage each other as much as you want. Now, unfortunately, with this video, we've got a lot of prep work going around the building, so I can't walk you around because it's pretty chaotic back there. So you're just going to have to watch me stand here. Now, in person, when we do this training, we literally walk around to each of the stations, and we talk about different points in those stations. But with the video, we're just going to do it in here. So bear with me. It is kind of a long training, but I really just want to equip you the best I can so that you don't come in on Monday, deer in the headlights. What do I do? What did I sign up for? We don't want that. We want you to come in pumped and ready to go and excited. All right, so schedule, map, those are both going to be emailed to you. You don't have to print them out. They will be here waiting for you. They'll be posted on the walls. They'll be in the crew bags and in the binder, so fear not. I'm just looking at my notes. I want to make sure that I don't forget anything. Okay, so how crews work. When you come in as crew leaders and crew assistants, station leaders, you're in charge of teaching your station, okay? The crew leaders are in charge of their crews. You don't have to scream and yell and get people's attention. That is the crew leader's job. Now, crew leaders, in your crew, you're gonna have probably 9 to 10 kids. There's a crew leader and a crew assistant. Now, if you don't have an official assistant, we've specifically put 6th graders in your crew that are right there on the edge of, I'm not quite old enough to be a leader, but I'm also of that age where I'm kind of too old for VBS in their mind. Like, they have grown. They are out of elementary school. They have left that behind, and they're ready to step up a little bit. And so please encourage them. Guide them in their leadership. Give them some responsibilities. They are ready to step up. We are short one crew leader as of right now. That's it. And we firmly believe that God is going to provide that. If not, we've got substitutes ready to go. And then I think we need 4 more crew assistants for everyone to have an official crew assistant in their crew. So 9 to 10 kids, and that's the ratio. And you'll be traveling around with 6 crews in that rotation. So lots of adults, lots of teen helpers, all in that same rotation. Now, in that crew, you are not getting 9 to 10 kindergartners, because that's like a barrel of cats. We're not doing that. What we're doing is we're mixed ages. So you're going to have a kindergartner, maybe 2 first graders, a second grader, a third grader, maybe a couple fourth graders, a fifth grader, and a sixth grader. I didn't do that math, but anyways, it's all mixed up. And the reason is because if you have a bunch of kindergartners, they're going to act like a bunch of kindergartners. They're just going to feed off each other and just do. Nope. But if you put a kindergartner in the same group as a fifth grader, there's something about that the kindergartner's like, oh man, I want to be cool like the fifth grader. And the fifth grader's like, I do not want to act like a kindergartner, so I am going to rise above. And so it really just balances everything out, and it mitigates a lot of behavioral problems that you would have otherwise. We've been doing it for years, and it's just worked so well year after year. Now, we talked about going to games first. At games, we're not worried about who's winning. Is it fun to win? Absolutely. But what we really want to focus on is teamwork. We want to focus on encouraging each other. We want to encourage learning kids' names for crew leaders and crew assistants specifically. Because if you go, hey, you, I need you to stop talking, that's not going to do it. Yay, good job, you're doing a good job. Well, there's also, could be upwards of 60 people out there also saying, good job, hey. But if you go, hey, Rebecca, you're doing an amazing job, man, that boosts that Rebecca so much higher than just a bunch of generic good jobs. Learning kids' names creates a relationship right off the bat. And then you can grow that relationship throughout the week. I have been a part of VBS since some of my very first memories are VBS. I remember crew leaders that I had when I was yay big. I'm talking 35 years ago. You as crew leaders and crew assistants, and even station leaders, you impact these kids for decades. So if you have it either way, that was the best crew leader I ever had, versus, yeah, I had this one crew leader, it was all right. You want to be the best crew leader. And the number one way to start your way on that is learning your kiddos' names. In the back of your crew binders, there is there's a section where you can you can basically do a survey with your kids. Hey, what's your favorite color? Hey, what's your favorite kind of ice cream? That sort of thing, because asking questions like that, especially with kids, is that relationship building skills. Now, if you're an introvert, I get it. I myself am an introvert. This interaction right here has purpose. I can do that. If you ask me to go out to coffee, I can get really awkward. But we, in our crew leader binders, have purposefully put in things that will help you interact. Every day, there's riddles, there's games that you can play with your kids as you're waiting in the pews that will help you kind of get out of that bubble. Now, here's the thing, but I don't feel comfortable. You know what? These kiddos, a lot of them are super nervous about being here too. So be nervous together and have fun with it. Smiling, being approachable, high fives. If they're okay with hugs, hugs are cool. But number one is learning your kiddos' names. Another thing at games, you can play the games too. There's something about adults playing games with and alongside the kids versus just standing on the sidelines going, hey, go do that thing. Kids get that a lot. I'm a mom. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, hey, I'm busy. Can you just go do that by yourself? But when you actually sit down or play, it's a whole other level. So yes, play the games with these kiddos. Uniforms. We want kiddos and leaders closed-toed shoes. Why? It's Georgia and we have fire ants. It's just easier. Closed-toed shoes. Shorts are fine, but we want respectful lengths of shorts. If you couldn't wear them to a school, then let's not wear them here. Other than that, like, we're not doing midriffs or anything like that. We want to be modest in our attire. You will get wet at games, so make sure you're wearing something that you don't mind getting wet. I don't think we're doing anything I take that back. Imagination Station gets a little crazy this year, so you don't want to wear your best t-shirt. You want to wear the VBS t-shirt every day. See? It works out. We'll give you a t-shirt. It's super cool this year. I'm biased, but anyways, it doesn't just say Fort Benning VBS. It actually has this year's logo, so we're super excited about that. So VBS t-shirt, shorts. If you want to dress in like a costume, as in, your cargo or your hiking pants, because we're adventuring in Alaska, please do so. If you want to bring a hiking stick, go ahead. If you want to wear hiking boots, go ahead. If you want a certain hat, go ahead. Do you have to? Absolutely not. But it's something you can do. Now, moving on from games. So after you're done with games, you're going to walk around the outside of the building and come in the side and come back here into the sanctuary for Sticky Scriptures, which is a really fun interactive station that teaches kids how to memorize God's Word in a fun and engaging way. When you walk in here, there's going to be 6 blankets on the floor. It doesn't matter which blanket you sit in or sit on. Sit on a blanket, circle up, everyone facing inside the circle, knee to knee. Okay? I promise you, if you go into each station, and even out of games, if you stand kind of huddled up, like, a team huddle type thing, if you do that, and then you go, hey, we need to pay attention over here, you will have a lot less issues getting kids to focus. If you sit in a bunch on a sheet and everyone's facing each whichever way and you're trying to get their attention, it's going to take forever. So every time you go into station, you huddle up, facing inwards, knee to knee, and then you can focus out. You could even have, okay, everyone put their hand in the middle. Or however you want to do that. You put something in the middle and everyone's like, okay, we're focused on that. And then you focus out. There's lots of different tips and tricks, and they're going to be in your crew leader guide. And that will be emailed out to you as well. So I promise all of the things that we email you, it might be daunting. It might be, I don't want to read all that, but it will help you. It's not a dry history textbook either. Another thing at Sticky Scriptures, we're going to talk about God sightings and what God sightings are. And Miss Lauren at Sing and Play is going to go more in depth in that as well. So be paying attention, because all of your directions are going to be coming from the station leaders. If you are paying attention to the station leaders, your kiddos are going to be more apt to pay attention to the station leaders, and you're going to figure out what's going on. The faster the station leaders can give directions, the less time your kiddos just have to sit there. And sitting there, sitting still is not a child's forte. It's not my forte, and I'm over 40 years old. So we want to get into stations, get situated really fast, and then start the fun stuff. All right. After Sticky Scriptures, we are going to go down the hall to Wild Bible Adventures, where we're going to get transported or teleported back in time and experience a Bible story. Once again, once you hit that door, there's going to be sheets on the floor, and you're going to pick a sheet, you're going to sit down, you're going to huddle up, you're going to focus, and if little Johnny's not paying attention, you're going to, Johnny, turn around, quick, in the middle, everyone focus. And then you're going to pay attention to what's going on. Now, these Bible stories are not, you're just going to be sitting there. No, there's going to be interactive parts to it. Everything here at True North VBS is interactive. But you've got to be paying attention so that your kiddos can pay attention, so that you can do the fun things. Because if no one's paying attention, we just don't have time. There's 20 minutes. There's 20 minutes. And that's just not a lot of time to do things. Circling up. Knowing names. That's important. And engaging. Will they do silly stuff at different stations and you as an adult or a teen are like, that was lame. Don't do that. Enjoy the fun. This is a week in which you can have fun as well. Let your inner kid come out. Laugh, giggle, have fun with the kids. It'll be a lot more fun, even for you. From Bible adventures, you've had a long morning so far and you just want to take a break. Well, you get to go get a snack, a little snacky snack. So you're going to go into Tundra Treats. And several things are going to come into play in that room. Hang on one second. All right. Ta-da! All the kiddos are going to have a name tag. You're going to have a name tag too. Kiddos name tags, crew leaders, crew assistants. You are our second line of defense. Our snack leaders already have a list of who has allergies, who has food allergies specifically. But we want to double, triple, quadruple check that we have it right. Everyone's going to have a name tag. If it's an orange background, they belong in the orange rotation. This person, Johnny Smith, very creative, is an orange king crab. And you see he has a red dot. They could have up to 3 dots. They could have no dots. But be paying attention for those dots. A red dot is a food allergy. A blue dot is a medical or behavioral issue that we want to be aware of. A yellow dot means that child, there's no pictures that are allowed to be taken of that child during the week, okay? So, red is allergies, blue is medical behavioral, yellow is photos. All right, now, the red dot, how do I know what it's about? If you turn the card around, you're going to have this on the back. These are all the jobs that people can have in the crew. Give your kiddos jobs. They love jobs. They love having a purpose. If you equip them with jobs, that is a responsibility that they are going to step up to. Now, there are only 5 jobs. If you have 10 kiddos, switch off and on between stations or halfway through the day, however you want to do that, or have 2 of each. That's okay. That's going to be on the back, but then you're also going to have a blurb about what that dot on the front means. So it might be a peanut allergy. It could be a gluten allergy. It could be, if it's a blue dot, it could be ADHD. It could be autism. It could be diabetes, something like that you as a crew leader need to be aware of. The yellow dot will just say, no photos, please. Now, if you have a kiddo that has an allergy or maybe has a behavioral issue, I don't know what the proper word for that is. Help me out. You can comment. Anyways, if they just have behavioral challenges, that is when you can either tell us, look, I'm not comfortable with this person in my crew. It's okay to say that. Guys, this thing in back of me is driving me crazy. It's okay. It's okay to say that. We want you to have a good week. We want you to feel comfortable as a crew leader. We want to equip you to the best of our ability. And so if you don't feel comfortable, then let us know. Now, if you have a child that has ADHD, and mom and dad come to drop off, just ask them, hey, what are some things that helps him focus? Do you have any tips and tricks? If the child is autistic, okay, is there any triggers that I need to be aware of? Is there anything that helps if they start to have a meltdown, or they just start getting really agitated? What can help them? Sometimes it's just drawing a picture. Sometimes it's they need a break. They're overstimulated. VBS can be very overstimulating, even for completely neuro people. Like, I don't know what the word is, guys. Too many trainings. I told you I'm doing this in one shot, so here we are in the middle, and I'm losing words. So those of you that are neurotypical, I mean, they're going home for naps. Us neurodivergent people, by the end of the day, we're like, wow, that was amazing, and now I'm going to go crash, and that's okay too. But those kiddos who are struggling, don't force it. Don't force it. No, we can just make it one more station. No. Just sometimes a 2 to 3 minute break is all they need to have a really phenomenal rest of the day, versus just push through it, and it's just hard. We don't want you to have to do super hard things like that. We don't want kiddos to have to do super hard things like that. Bring them up front to the check-in station. I'll be there, Steve will be there, and wonderful check-in ladies will be there. We will have a place where they can just sit and breathe for a second. That is okay. And like I said, if you as a volunteer just need a minute to breathe, we've got the volunteer break room, and we are here to help. Or maybe you just need to run to the bathroom and your crew leader or your assistant is absent that day, and you're like, I don't want to just leave my crew with other crews. We're here to jump in and out, however you need us. At drop off, if little Johnny comes and he's got his bear, just ask Johnny if it's okay if the bear stays in the car. Because if the bear stays at VBS, he has to stay in the bag. Toys, stuffies, electronics. The only exception to those things going in the crew bag for the rest of the morning are those that medically must have them. So if there is a type 1 diabetic that has to have them to monitor glucose levels, those kids are going to be super responsible. They are not going to be abusing the phone privilege. They are allowed to keep their phones on them at all times. But toys and electronics. Now for leaders, are they allowed to have their phones out? They're allowed to have their phones out if they're looking up an answer to a question maybe a kiddo had. They're looking up Alaskan facts, because kids are going to ask stuff. Or if they're taking photos. And you can take photos of your kiddos. However, those photos need to not be put on social media. Unless you have like direct parent permission, but that gets gray, so we just try to keep them off. Other things. Okay, safety brief. On your map, all the fire axes will be showing. If there's anything like that happens, you're just going to take your kiddos out to the nearest parking lot. You're going to have your roster. You're going to make sure everybody's with you, and I'll come around and check everybody. If there is a tornado or a hurricane, because it's Georgia, we're just going to meet. We're just going to sit in the halls and sing VBS songs and stay calm and just have a great time out in the halls while that all passes. Active shooters, because we live in a wild world. We have soldiers that are in the building by the doors, making sure no children escape, because sometimes that happens, especially at the end of the day. Like, they're just, mom said, hey, we're going to the pool, and that child's going to the pool, and we just have people at the front door going, wait for mom, wait for dad. But that also gives us some security in the building. We're on a base. We're not worried, but it's something we have to talk about. We will also have a first aid station. So for any kiddos that maybe they get an ant bite, or they fall and they scrape their knee, or maybe they just need a nap, because sometimes that happens, or they got overheated at games. You can take them to the first aid station, and they'll get what they need there. Another thing, like I said, if you need a break, don't suffer in silence. If you have a kiddo that you've given them one chance, you've given them two chances, you don't have to wait for that third chance. I just heard a sermon that in the Bible, I think it was John talking to, maybe it was Titus, and he's like, 2 chances. That's all they need. So we're just doing 2 chances, okay? The first chance, the second chance, and if you have to talk to a kiddo a third time, just bring them to me or Steve. And a lot of times, all it does is taking them out of the fray, giving them 2 to 3 minutes of absolute boredom, sitting and doing nothing, to go, you know what? I was having a lot more fun back there. I think I'm going to go listen and go do fun things. And that's all it takes. Sometimes they just need a nap. Sometimes they just need a break. So please, if you're having a hard time, let us know, and we will help. Sometimes it means moving that kiddo to another crew, and that's okay too. We are willing to do that because we want you to have a great week. We want the kiddos to have a great week. All right, in closing, we're going to talk really quick about the drop off and pick up. When you have parents coming in to drop off at your pew, you're going to have your roster. You're going to have the kiddo's name, and then you're going to have a space for the last 4 digits of a phone number. In years past, we've had it typed in, but then people have had to scratch it out a million different times and add a bunch of different phone numbers. So that's going to be blank, but it's going to be your job to write the last 4 of that phone number down, so that at pickup, when Dad comes in, he can go, hey, I'm here to pick up Johnny, last 4 this. And you can go, that doesn't match. Could it have been a different number? And they give off, mom's number, and it's right. And you go, yeah, here's your child, okay? If they don't give you the last 4 of that number, if they don't know the last 4 of that number, that parent, guardian, child needs to be brought to myself or Steve, and we'll look them up in the computer. We've had it happen before. I think it was like grandma dropped off and put down her number, and mom didn't have the phone and couldn't look up grandma's last 4. And so we brought him out. Grandma was an emergency contact. We're like, oh yeah, we get it. We understand. And mom and daughter thought it was hysterical. She is my mom. And we're like, well, we have to check. And she just thought it was so funny. And mom was super appreciative of our security measure, just making sure that her daughter was safe. So don't be afraid to do that. Drop off and pick up. So drop off 8:45 to 9. You're going to be in your pew. You're going to want you on one side, crew assistant on the other, and interact with those kiddos. If someone's not being dropped off right then, be interacting with your kiddos. Talk to them. Ask questions. Do you like school? What's your favorite subject? Like all of those kid questions, because that's going to stem other questions as well. What goes home and what doesn't will be announced every day. But they can take their Bible buddy home of that day, or they can leave it here if they want. You'll have a baggie for them in their crew bag. Excuse me. You're going to want to label all of their stuff though, so that no one gets lost. Things that don't go home is the wristbands stay every day. Their book that they're going to get, their Matthew book, is going to stay every day. But that will also be on our last very important piece of paper that will be sent out. This is our must-know information. This outlines probably most of the questions that you're going to ask or have are going to be right here. This is all bullet pointed. Bathroom breaks, no adults in the bathroom. We have adult bathrooms marked. They're going to be on this back side hall. Kids can go in the bathroom. We as adults prop the bathroom door open to mitigate any, paper ball fights or whatever. If there is an issue, then grab one of the other leaders and you can both go in the bathroom, fix the issue, and come right back out. But that's all outlined on this sheet. And then here is your crew leader to-do list. And you're like, that's a lot. None of this has to be done beforehand. It's all the day of, and a lot of it is what I've just talked to you about. It's interact with your kiddos. Remember to circle up. Look for those colored dots. This is just in case you're like, wait, what did she say about that? It's all right here, okay? And if you do have more questions, or you would rather just talk it out, I am here almost every day. I am here every day from now when you get this video till the end of VBS. You can also call me or text me or email me, and I will be more than willing to help out. That is the end of our training. It was only about 35 minutes, not too bad. I really am so grateful. Each one of you is an answer to prayer. We have been praying for our volunteers since December of last year, and you are a direct answer to that. And we are just so thankful, and we just hope you have the best week. And remember, we are here to help that happen. So don't suffer in silence. Remember or learn your kiddos' names, and have fun, because VBS is where we learn about Jesus, and Jesus gave us the gift of laughter. And so he wants us to have fun too. God bless, and I will see you soon.